My name's Phil Knox. I'm part of the mission team at the Evangelical Alliance. And I don't know about you, but I love words. And I've been fascinated to see how the language and vocabulary of our society has been impacted by this coronavirus season. We have seen, for example, unprecedented use of the word unprecedented. I don't know whether we are living in the new normal or whether the new normal has become normal yet. But one phrase that's captivated me and I've been reflecting on as a church leader and as an evangelist during this time is this concept of the R number. According to the government website, the R number is the average number of secondary infections produced by a single infected person. It's basically a measurement of our contagiousness as a society or as a community. And my reflection is, what is the R number of the church? When the R number is 1, it basically means that one person is passing the infection on to one other. If it's above 1, the epidemic increases. If it's below 1, it decreases. Globally, the R number of the church is above 1. They reckon that by 2050, there'll be 3 billion followers of Jesus across the world. But in our nation, in our communities, in our churches, what is the R number? And what can we do to increase it? I believe these questions should be at the forefront of our thinking as leaders in the church. They really, really matter. And how might we use the language and the model of the virus and virus containment as a model and as a way of communicating these ideas? I want to suggest that there are 3 ways that we might begin to think about this idea and that they might inspire us to create churches and to have conversations that might increase the number of people following Jesus in our nation. The first of those is, how might we decrease social distancing? This is not a call to break the law, but it is a call to think, how might we increase our spiritual proximity to people? A critical factor in a church's R number will be the amount of friendships that we have with non-believers and the quality of those friendships. As Christians, we should be the best friends in the world. We have the relational God who lives inside us. Jesus said, "By this all people will know that you're my disciples, the way you love one another." As a church, how do we encourage and inspire people to deep, meaningful and significant relationships with not yet Christians? Second thing for us to ponder is, how do we release and empower and listen to the super spreaders? According to the news, there are such things as super spreaders. They are people who the government are especially trying to contain because they are specifically potent in spreading the virus. That's the case with how faith spreads. Ephesians 4:11 talks about the gift of the evangelist to the church. Evangelists can be a bit annoying in a church. They're continually asking the question, how do we reach out? But how do we get better in the church at listening to and inviting evangelists to be part of the leadership, to equipping and inspiring the super spreaders? And how do we infect the whole of our church with their passion to lead us to grow our corporate R number? Thirdly, how do we increase everyone's contagious level? We're not all called to be evangelists. We're not all super spreaders, but all of us have a role in playing a part in someone's faith journey. This R number of the church is something we should all care about. An increase in the R number may well result in an increase in likelihood of the R word, revival. What would it look like for Jesus to be the talk of every town? What would it look like for the surge and increase in faith to result in our buildings not being big enough to contain the people who want to go to church when we're allowed back in them? I dream of communities bursting with the good news of Jesus. I'm praying that this is the unprecedented new normal.